Making an Android app in Firebase Studio is a different beast compared to prototyping a web app. Just a heads up, it's not as smooth or as pretty. I know people usually like videos that show quick solutions, but this isn't one of those. Still, no need to hit the dislike button. I just want to give you a realistic view of the effort involved. For those new to coding, it might seem intimidating, but I am going to do my best to show you it might not be so overwhelming after all. Let's get started. For Android development, you have three main options: Android Studio Cloud, Flutter, and React Native plus Expo. I am choosing Flutter today since it's a Google-made framework that's pretty popular. Here we are in the code view. It takes a little time to load. You will notice there isn't the same kind of visual prototyping view you find with web apps. You will be working directly with code. Another significant difference is that the coding assistant is truly just an assistant. It does not automatically find and fix your errors. You need to handle that yourself, but don't worry, I will walk you through the process. You will see a Flutter demo homepage. You can choose to view it as a mobile app or in a web browser. Here's our coding assistant. We want to change the main page, so we need to attach the main.dart file to the prompt. That's something you always have to tell the assistant, what file you're working on. Most of the time, it's just the main.dart or the current page you're editing. Change the main page for my AI app called ChatGPT Destroyer. The style is modern with electric blue colors, and the layout is minimal with only header and main content sections. Here is an important first piece of advice. Do not create complicated UI layouts. Otherwise, you will end up with something that neither you nor the assistant can handle. We've got the code now. It's good practice to review the changes, but most of us are just getting started here, so we probably don't know the syntax yet. After making a few apps, you'll start to pick up the language, and you'll be able to review parts of the code yourself. And here is our first error. If we were prototyping a web app, the AI would fix this automatically. Since we are not, we need to manually tell the AI to fix it. The color scheme is twice. Fix it. Here's our new app. The color scheme looks a bit off, but I am not concerned about that. Now that we have something working, it's essential to export our code to version control on GitHub. We'll need to authorize Visual Studio Code to access our GitHub repository. If you don't have a GitHub account, sign up for one. It's free. We'll publish our code to a public repository. The code is now published, and we can open it on GitHub. Now let's move on. I want to add a logo image to our app. It asked me where the logo is, so I will just provide a path where I am going to put it. Now we see an error, unable to load asset. Let's create the folder and upload the image. This is just a logo I downloaded from FreePic, a stock photo service. We still have the same error. Let's give it to the assistant. It modified the pubspec.yaml file, and then we need to run a terminal command, flutter pub-get. It is still not working. Let's try a hot reload, then a full reload, and if it still does not work, a hard restart. And finally, there it is. The mobile view does not work yet. Let's try a hard restart there too. It is still not working, so let's mention it to the assistant. And a hard restart again. And there it is. One important thing to remember now that we have our codebase in GitHub, if we encounter problems we cannot solve, we can discard the changes in the source control view. If things still aren't working after discarding changes and the AI seems out of sync, you can always start a new project and import your GitHub repo again. Let's move on. We'll add a button where we can implement the main feature of our app, a text box where the user can ask an AI something, and then we send it to the Gemini API to get a response. Here's a key tip. Keep your design modular by creating multiple simple pages. This way, if something goes wrong with one page, you can easily toss it without affecting the rest. You can try making complicated layouts with tons of features on one page, but you'll quickly find out why that's not a great idea. Looks like the button doesn't work, so we'll ask the AI to fix it. Now we've added a new page. It's a good time to push these changes to version control. Click the commit button and write a short description of what you've updated in this version. Looks like I had some stage changes and then added more, so I'll commit again. The changes are now pushed, and we can see the new AI page on GitHub. Next, we'll set up the Gemini API connection. In Firebase Studio, there's an Add Gemini API option. After signing in, I can pick one of my Google Cloud projects. We can grab the API key now, but first I'll ask the AI to write the API request. You could also get the API keys from Google AI Studio, but this time we'll go there to get an example request for the prompt. Here's the request. I'll copy that. When the user types the message and clicks Ask AI, make an API request to Gemini. Then I will paste the example request into the prompt. We've got some errors. The code needs an HTTP package. Usually when you see these types of errors, you can just click the quick fix link and select Add to Dependencies. The name parameter child isn't defined. It looks like we need to ask the AI to fix it. There's also a parenthesis mismatch. If you ask the AI to fix these, it might say it thinks the parentheses are correct. For a no-coder, this might be the nastiest bug to fix in this video, but you can always try, so I will show you the process. If it does not work, you need to revert to an earlier version and create the UI component some other way. You should check that every opening parenthesis has a matching closing one. The editor is pretty helpful here. It says, expected to find a curly brace. So I'll remove the square bracket and add the curly brace. For this parenthesis, it says, the value of the local variable isn't used. That sounds like it should not be there, so let's use a quick fix link again and remove it. Looks like the errors are cleared. Let's refresh and see if it works. The UI looks good, but the API request isn't doing anything yet. That's expected. We haven't added the API key. Sometimes when the app doesn't respond and no errors pop up, you need to ask the AI to add print statements to help figure out what's happening. Yet another parenthesis mismatch. Expected to find closing parenthesis. Let's add that. Now let's test. We should see something in the web console. API key is not valid. Nice, let's add that. API keys are sensitive information, and you never want them to end up in version control. So you need to ask the AI to create a .env file where all sensitive data is stored as environment variables. Let's also check the gitignore file to make sure the .env file is listed there. Nope, it's not, so I'll add it now. This way, Git will ignore that file and it won't end up in version control. Now let's click the Get API Key link. It places the key on the clipboard so we can paste it into the environment variable. I am showing it to you all because I will delete that key before I publish the video. Now the AI added the .env file, but the API key string is still your API key, so we need to ask the AI to actually use the environment variable. Looks like there's another missing dependency. A new error. Let's take a general approach to an error like this. Copy the error and also the parts where it mentions the file name and line number to the AI and ask it to fix it. Undefined name.env. It sounds like the package is missing, and it is an easy fix for the editor. Also, this await is a common error for the editor to fix. We are making progress. Now it is not finding the .env file. It is probably because the assets folder or .env was not configured properly. So once again, we ask the AI to fix it. I guess it does not come as a surprise to you anymore. Ask AI to fix it or ask the editor to fix it. There's an ignore exceptions parameter. It looks like an additional parameter. I'll just try removing it. When you have an intuition of coding errors, you can do things like this, and sometimes they work out just fine. Let's tell the AI we still have the error. Interestingly, the error did not disappear. One thing related to assets is that sometimes you need to do a hard reset to make them work, so let's try that. And that solved the problem. We're still not seeing the expected result, so let's check the web console. It says, "Hello, how can I help you today?" That's good. It's just not showing the response in the app yet, so I'll ask the AI to fix it. And there it is. Our ChatGPT destroyer is ready. Let's see how it works also on an Android emulator. Alright, to build the app as an APK file, we need to remove the print statements since they should not be in release software. Also, while our current API key handling isn't ideal for a commercial app, this is just a hobby project for private use, so we won't worry about that. If you don't want to memorize the build commands, you can just ask the AI how to build the APK. Now this seems odd. It does not even give any output about the building process. This is something good to understand. AI is just an ordinary developer that can mess up the environment. So the solution then is to push the codebase to GitHub and start with a clean environment. After importing, the environment works fine. It is actually good that you see this stuff so you know what to do. I also noticed that before publishing, we need to add to the Android manifest file that the app needs permissions for internet access. It just adds one line to the manifest file. The next step is to ask the AI to run the Flutter build apk command. It can take a few minutes, and then you will find the apk file in the build directory. Then we can download the file and upload it to, for example, Google Drive, and install it from there to the physical device. And here is how it runs on my Android tablet. That wraps up the tutorial. I hope it gave you a good view of mobile app development. Happy coding, and I will see you in the next video.